leaving? Okay, so you're asking Mechila up front? Or you want me to finish the shir? You obviously didn't look over this daf yet. Okay, so we're holding on the bottom of Daf Tzadik Beis Amid Beis. And we were discussing the kidney has a white, I didn't bring the picture today. It has a white inside, like a piece of chaylev inside. And there's machlokes, do you have to dig it out of the kidney? Or you could just cut off the top layer and that's it. Says the Gemara Ma'abaya, 2 lines from the bottom, Kavosei de Rebbe Asi Mistabra makes sense, Rebbe Asi is right, that you don't need to dig out the whole thing, thank you. Why? The Omar Rebbe Abba, Omar Rebbe Yehuda, Omar Shmuel, Chaylev Sha'abasa Choyfa, Oisoi Mutter. Oh, so now we're going into Chullin, Geschmacka stuff. Here's a picture from, the art scroll borrowed it from, what's the name of that picture book that has the nice colorful pictures? No, Sichas Chullin. Sichas Chullin doesn't have color. Anyways. Chullin Illuminated. Okay, so, as you can see here, there's 3 walls of muscle in red, and in between these walls of muscle, these are called ksalim, like a kaisel, but not really, I'm kidding, it's with a samach. These are the walls of the animal, 1, 2, 3. And in between there's fat. Says the Gemara that the fat that's in between these walls is 100% mutter, chaylev. Why? Because they are completely surrounded by red. Anything surrounded by red is mutter. Therefore, says Abaya, that the kidney, you can't go digging into the kidney itself because the kidney is surrounding that fat. And anything that is surrounded with fat is mutter. So you should be able to eat, like Ravasi says, that you don't have to dig into the kidney. Just take off the top surface above the kidney, and then you're gone. But everything else inside the kidney should be mutter to eat, just like it's mutter.
What's not mutter?
Oh, so we're going to get there. There's different fats here that are not mutter.
Well, because they're not surrounded by red.
Right. These that are surrounded by red are mutter. Ask the Gemara. So, Almosh alak solim, omer achmona veloy shebetoichak solim. Alak solim is referring to above, like, it doesn't mean, it's not referring to the solim over here, it means the roof. So you have the walls and you have a ceiling. So this is the ceiling, you see right over here, from here to here is alak solim. It's above the ksalim. That would be aser. So over here also the Torah said, on top of the kidneys, and whatever is inside the kidneys is mutter. Says the Gemara Gufa. Shmuel says, and there are a lot of halachas here that come from Shmuel in when it comes to chaylev. We just learned a second ago. The chaylev that's surrounded by basar is mutter. Hay tarba. This fat, the tusei masnei asir. So here we go. It's hard to see in this picture, but there's a red arrow here that I made, and it's talking about this particular piece of fat. You see this?
Orange, number 2.
Number 3.
That's red.
Oh yeah, number 2 over here. Sorry, number 3. Correct. This piece of fat. My red arrow, the number 2. Okay, number 2. If you could see it. Is the red arrow, the fat, the little string of fat right over here by the red arrow, the green and the red arrow, both, okay?
In a sea of red.
It's in a sea of red. We just said that anything that's in a sea of red is mutter. So how come he says that it's also? Great question. And look at the answer. Omar Abayo behema bechayea paruke mi parko. Says Abayo, as you can see, in this blue arrow, this is not true to when an animal is dead, this blue arrow. This is an exaggeration for the picture only. As you can see, the fat is not surrounded by a sea of red, where the blue is. Do you see the blue arrow right over here? There's a little bit open. Says Abaya, why is it open? When you open up the animal, what's the Gemara's question? The Gemara's question is not, it's open, so it's open. The Gemara's question is, no. When I shecht an animal and I open up the animal, what do I find? Complete surrounding of meat around this basar over here. Says Abaye, yes, you're right. When he's dead, that's what you see. But when he's alive, he flexes his muscles, and at certain points, it becomes exposed and it's not surrounded. That's not what Shmuel said is mutter to eat without a problem. That's not considered as he walks. As the picture shows you, he's in the middle of taking a step. He's alive and well. He's standing up. So therefore, there's a gap here, a tiny little gap by the blue arrow. That makes that fat ulcer. I know. He said about himself, Rabbi Yochanan, I am not a butcher and I'm not a son of a butcher. So I don't know anything about walking and opening and all the stuff. And I remember all I remember is that in the Beis Medrash, I heard this svar that Abai didn't just make this up out of nowhere. This is something that they spoke about in the Beis Medrash, Behema, Bechayel, Parukim, Parka. When an animal's alive, its joints flex and open, and you can't say this about this meat over here. This is closed and it's always closed. No matter how much the animal's going to walk, it's not going to expose it. But because this is a joint, they join together right over here, so it opens up. As a side note, once we're here, I didn't really look into it a lot, but there's a Rashi here discussing, if you look closely, there's lines over here. Rashi discusses this, that it kind of comes to, here's where it joins. The joint of the muscle is right over here, and there's a krum, and it runs through the animal, and he says in Germany they would eat it, they wouldn't eat it. The Kitzer, whoever wants to look in this top Rashi over here, he discusses it, but this is what he's talking about. If you want to know what he's talking about, I believe, this line right over here. It's like a joint of...
Why wouldn't they eat it?
Because it looks like it's fat, it's not fat. He says if you don't, and if you don't, because it's only the Rabbanon, so if you eat it, nothing happened. Omar Rabbi Abba, Omar Rabbi Yehuda, Omar Shmuel, another halachim Shmuel. Chaylev shalam hamseis ubeisakoises asurim v'anush kares. So, back to my favorite, I use this so many times. This is because it's colorful and nice. Remember the four stomachs. So this is the hemsis right over here, and this is the beisakoises right over here. So the fat surrounding these two, and I have a better picture from Chullin illuminated. This is what it looks like in terms of fat. He already removed the fat from it. Here's the beisakoises, and here's the hemsis. So here's the fat that lays on it. He peeled it off, but this would be a doraisa. This is called chelev hamechases hakerev. The Torah says chelev hamechases hakerev ala kerev, but this is it right over here. It covers it, and that is also the oraisa. Asurim v'onush kares v'zehu chelev sha'ala kerev. This is what the Torah talks about. Chelev hamechases hakerev. Omer Rabbi Omer Yehuda Omer Shmuel. Another Shmuel. Hayt harba the klibusta asur v'onush kares. This klibusta is kares. Next, no, I have a picture. Klibusta is. I circled this is taken from Sichas Chullin. This bone over here, so if you have chelev over there, that's included, says Rashi, v'zehu chelev shalak ksolim. This is not ksolim, the only ksolim. It's included also in the chelev of ksolim. V'omer Rabbi Omer Rabbi Yehuda Omer Shmuel. Again, Shmuel. Chutin shebayad asurim. Oh, here's where Rabbi Schoenberg is going to go crazy. He's going to love this. The chutim, the blood vessels in the shoulder, yad is referring to the shoulder, are asur. So whoever missed it before the shir, he was telling us, Rabbi Schoenberg, how that's what they do today, because Ashkenazim don't really do nikur. So when they talk about nikur, they're talking about the hind quarter. They said enough. We can't deal with it. We don't know how to do it. But even the foreleg, the front of the animal, there is a nikur, but not so much for chelev, but for blood vessels. We have to remove the blood vessels. And as we're going to see, the Gemara explains. Omer Rav Safra, I love this, a new lashon, Moshe. He called Rav Safra called Rav Abba Moshe. You're Moshe. In other words, you're a big town chacham. How could you say such a thing? Mi Omer Achmana Leitechel Bisra. Rav Safra understood that we're dealing with chelev here. Nothing to do with blood vessels. So Rav Safra understood that there's a problem with chelev. So he said, wait a minute, why chelev? It's a blood vessel. A blood vessel is meat. Why can't he eat it? There's no chaylev. So he tells him, "Oh my Rava, he's a Moshe. You're a Moshe. Don't call him Moshe." It's interesting. Moshe, you're Moshe. You Rav Safra are Moshe. You're Talmud Chacham. Mi Omer Rachmana Echol Dama. We're not talking about chaylev. You missed the whole point. We're talking about blood. That's why Rabbi said it's asur. So, chatchei umalchei. There is a way out of blood, as we know. You cut it open, let it drain, and then whatever's left over, you salt, and it's all good. Afilu l'gdeir nami shaper dami. You could throw it into your pot and eat it. Fine. Omer Rabbi Yudam Shmuel Reish Ma. I love how it's going so fast. It's kishmak. Like now, when I was reading it, Omer Rabbi Yudam Shmuel Reish Mayo ba'amsa boigrira. When the where's the good picture? I don't know if I printed at the end here. But it's not a good picture, but so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it finally comes out and it goes into the intestines. So where it comes out and goes into the intestines, you have to count a nama. A nama is about 24 inches, 2 feet. 2 feet on this pipe over here is chaylev. You have to remove the chaylev. You have to remove it. This is what we learned in the mems, the machlokes over there. If the chaylev on the dakim, what do you do with it? So that's what we're talking about. It's the first ama as it comes out of as the intestines start. These blood vessels, nerves, they're called chutim, the offshoots that come out and they go into the oikets, meaning in the hips, the lower spine, into the flanks. The flanks is, where's that nice picture? Basically over here. So they go into here, the offshoots, they go into here. Asurim. They are asur. Cham shechute izbei bekafla. There are 5 of these blood vessels that go into the flanks. Tlosa miyamino v'tartim ismala. 3 and 2. Tlosa mipazla trey. The 3 have 2 offshoots, total of 6. Trey mipazla tlosa, and the other 2 on the left turn it. Tlosa mipazla trey mipazla tlosa. So there's a total of 12. Nafkemino, who cares how many blood vessels there are? Says the Gemara. If you're a butcher, you shech the animal and you run in, you stick your hand in there, you yank it out, it's going to come out in one piece. You don't have to start counting pieces. Like
yeah, because nothing's gotten hard yet. It
right.
Comes right out. It's slippery.
Right. I don't know. I was in surgery a few times.
The muscles are slippery.
Yeah.
You mean they won't break off when you take it?
Correct. In surgery, they use sponges, like to clean off the blood during surgery. So as the surgery is finishing off, they have to count every single sponge. This my father-in-law's partner, she's not alive anymore. She was from actually. This never happened. You could cut right over here. One of her patients came to him, and she was complaining that she had like a swelling. So my father-in-law looked at it for a second. And he realized right away what the problem was. There was a little sponge in there. She said, "Oh, this is post-surgery. Sometimes this happens. Let me just knock you out real quick and take care of it." And they, no, never happened. Such as kimat haya. The kids it happens. You leave, so you have to count. So over here also, you have to count. If you know that there's 12, you have to count 12 veins that they come out. If it's cold, if it's warm, you don't have to count anything. There's no point of counting because it came out. The sholevlu ad chamimim mishtalfi. Biloi boi chatuti basrayu.
Come out and see you only have 10 for some reason, you have to go in and take out.
Oh yeah, but you don't have to look at it. Who wants to count veins? It just pops out. But if it's cold, then you have to sit there and make sure you have 12. And if you don't have 12, you have to start cutting it open until you find all 12. There's 5 places that have these vessels. Interesting. There's a difference. 3 of them are fat, and 3 of them are a problem because of blood. 2 of them are because of blood. The tachle, the spleen, or the chafle and the flanks, or the chulyasa and the kidney, mishum tarba, is a problem of fat. The the foreleg, which is we discussed it. It's the shoulder, udaloya, and the jaw, and some Rishonim say it includes also the tongue, whatever's in the jaw. Mishum dama. Now there's an interesting Rashi here. It's important Rashi. Rashi de b'maskul udaloya. Rashi says shebalechi v'chutim dakim hu dikachashev. The Gemara is only talking about the very small blood vessels. Hilkach leitada mizrike hatzav or shavhei mishum dam. In other words, Rashi is saying there are other blood vessels that are troublemakers, but we're discussing the small guys, the smaller ones. So we have 5.
The throat.
He says we're not discussing the throat because we're talking about the tongue and the 5 that we mentioned: the spleen, the flanks, and the kidney, and what are the other 2? The jaw and the shoulder. But we're not talking about the throat. Who cares if it's also because of this or because of that? The shoulder and the jaw that are also because of blood. If you cut it open and get salt in there, then it's not a problem, like we said. Then you know you're going to take the blood out, so there's no isser. But when it comes to the fat, there's no way to get it out, and that's it. They're usser.
If you put it on the grill, even if you put it on the H, it doesn't come out.
H doesn't help blood. H helps blood. It doesn't help fat. Chamsha kromihavu. There are 5 membranes. Remember the whole sugis of membranes. It's like a thin layer of see-through skin, like a plastic bag that covers a lot of the organs. Glasa mishum tarba. 3 of them are usher because they are considered fat. Utrei mishum dama, and again, it's the same category. The same 3 are because of fat. Utrei mishum dama, and there's another 2 that are because of blood. What are they? The tachla, the chafle, the chulyasa, the spleen, the flanks, and the kidney. Mishum tarba is also because of fat. The beye, the micro, the beitzim, and the brain, the membranes around those 2. Mishum dama, they are also because of blood. And we're going to see in a second about the kidney. Rav Yehuda bar Oishia have a kokolevle tachla lelevi bereder Rav Huna bar Chia. So the Gemara says Rav Yehuda bar Oishia was peeling away the spleen. This is the spleen, so he's peeling it off. He's peeling. Have a kagoyim le miloi. So he's taking the thicker part. So as you can see, it becomes narrower. So there's a thicker part. He was taking it off from there. So you got to take off more. Also, Levi's father came. This is what your grandfather said in the name of Rabbi Manu, Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba. Remember Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba from yesterday, who said we like this pshat the most out of the 7 pshatim. This is the dad right over here in the blue arrow. The only part of the spleen that's awesome midiraisa is right over here, and as you can see, it continues nicely this way. So all this is part of the dad. That's what's awesome midiraisa. That's it, bilvad. So you don't have to. Why are you telling him to peel off more? You don't need to peel off more. What he's doing over here on the thick part, that's good. It says in the Braisa, Krum shalat choil osu ben chayovim alav. The whole entire membrane surrounding the entire spleen is also just as no cars. If it's talking about just over here, Rav said it's a kares. Elo de kule. So it's talking about the entire thing, and it's not kares, but it's also. So what are you telling my son over here what are you saying in there that you don't worry about it? Just cut off a tiny piece, let the krum stay. We're saying that it's also, maybe not the Braisa, but it's still also. It says in the Braisa. Amalei, Itanyo, Tanya, you're right. Okay, if that's what it says, I didn't know, sorry, take it back. The whole thing, the whole membrane is also midrabanan at least. So, midraisa would be this part and this white line over here, and midrabanan, the whole entire membrane is also.
So you can't do it, you gotta eat it, that's it.
You have to peel it off. Peel it off nicely, and then you eat it. Gufa, Omer Rav Amnuna, Tana, Krum Shalat Choil Asur. The entire membrane on the spleen is also vein chayavim alav, but there's no kares. Krum Shal Gabe Kulya Asur. and the entire membrane on the kidney is also very chayavim alav. Vatanyo chayavim alav. We said it seems like a contradiction. It says the Gemara is not a contradiction. I'll explain. There's two membranes here. The spleen is like we just explained. When it's by the dad, then it's also the rice, it's kares. And the rest of it is the rabbanon. That's fine. That's what we just explained. The kidney has a membrane above the fat. So that membrane above the fat is part of the fat. So it's the oraisa. Then there's a membrane that separates the kidney and the fat. It's just a layer that doesn't let the fat touch the kidney. So that we consider part of the kidney. And memela, that's only asur mid'Rabbanan.
So there's a membrane above the fat and below the fat?
Exactly. Thank you. The fat is sandwiched between two membranes. The upper one, we view it as part of the fat. It's there with the fat. The lower one we view as more as a kidney part. Bei chashilasa. Now we're going into the sugya of beitzim.
Nobody says the bottom one's mutter?
I thought Rocky Mountain oysters.
I don't think so.
People eat
See, it
them.
says asur. It's asur, but bei chayavim alav. What?
Rocky Mountain oysters.
That's what it's called?
Yeah.
Wow. There's a guy in Best that he heard that when we do shechita in France, so the guy behind the counter, I don't know if you ever go there, the guy in the butcher shop, the French guy,
Oh, okay.
every time he sees me, no, where's my bitzim? The keves. Bitzei keves is the best food in the world. What?
Alan Frank?
I don't know his name.
No, the French guy.
The French guy.
I was
Bei chashilasa, but this is a little different, Rabbi Isai. What is it? It's detached testicle. It's still attached to the animal. It's in the sac, but it's detached. This animal is not having any offspring anytime soon. Ravami Ravasi chad osav chad shari. Machlokes, are you allowed to eat it? What's the shaila here? The Gemara explains very beautifully the svaras here. Man dosar miduloi kobarion. At the end of the day, he's never going to heal. So what do we have here? Hanevi menachayninu. So at the end of the day, you have an aver menachai. It's a live. It's a aver from a live animal inside an animal. Let's say you take his heart. Somehow he can live without a heart. You chop it off and leave it inside. It's aver menachai, right? We said about the mother animal. You cut off part of her spleen and leave it inside her. Her body doesn't help it not from being aver menachai. It's an organ inside an animal that's detached from the animal. That's what he telling us. No, every menachai is deraisa.
No,
Even bnei noyach.
but this is not like it's just.
Let's see.
We continue to live.
No, but he holds this deraisa.
Because it's not something which is the
It's not something which is critical for its...
Right, but it's still even a chai.
It doesn't matter. Any organ that's isbahu. He says, wait a minute. The Mandama says it's not every menachai because at the end of the day, look, it doesn't smell bad. It doesn't smell bad. It must be that it has some sort of life to it. It's alive. Says the Gemara of Idach.
Wait, it's attached or it's not attached?
It's not attached. It's in the sac, in the animal, but it's not attached to the animal. Yeah.
It's attached.
No, I think what he means is that it's in the mat. I think that's what he means. What?
Was on the animal versus wells you cut a leg off.
So hold on a second. I'm trying to think about what place is saying. If it's meduldul, like a leg that's a little bit, it's holding by a thread. So he's saying the beitza also is holding by a thread.
Rabbeinu Gershom says that it's moch. It's still attached, but it's not menut of the gabi.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying the nafkamina would be if you cut it, if it fell off.
That's why it's rabbanan, because it's mandulda.
We're talking about that it's slightly attached. It seems like from the Rabbeinu Gershom and from Tais, it's slightly attached. It has.
That's chiyusa, so that means there's a chance if you reattach it, it would come back to life.
Not that if you reattach, it has life because it's not smelly.
Why
And
is
that
that
it-
smelly?
and
Because
it's- and
still
it's
attached
weak.
to him. That's the reason why it's not smelly.
Because it's in him.
Because
It's in him, but it's
also
not
still
attached.
If it wasn't attached, then it would get infected and it would become smelly.
Maybe. I don't know. I hear. Noob shot. Okay, shkoyach. Vidoch, haidelikum sarchon, deliko shal bu aviro. He says, wait a minute, don't bring me a rye that it's not smelly and it's not infected. It's inside its body, so and it doesn't have ear. The fact that it doesn't have ear makes it not has life. What does he say, Noam? What is Mesifta Taina over here with the whole thing?
He doesn't touch on the point of whether it's actually attached or not, but he brings this machlokes because the Rambam says it's still a deraisa.
It is deraisa.
Because he says, even when the Gemara says earlier that it's
That's medaldol.
Medaldol, it says parish is parish min the Torah also.
What? But what do you mean? What about the whole sugi medaldol?
It says it's a deraisa. Mashamar Gemara la'el sheba.
All right, so I didn't make any mistakes. I was mechaven. Anywhere you go, you mechaven to some reason.
You have to go back to what is Be'er Hashilta. What does it mean? Then you can
Yeah.
say it's connected.
V'idach.
That's it. He doesn't say.
Haideloi barion.
Explain it.
Chishusa udenakalu. Okay, he says the reason why it doesn't heal, it's a little weak right now, and it's not going to heal, but it's still there. It's still attached. Fine. Omalei Rabbi Yochanan Rav Shemen bar Abba. Hani bei chashiloso sharin. This is a very interesting halacha. These eggs that are detached, we hold here in Eretz Yisrael, they're 100% mutter to eat. Va'at lo teichol, you're not allowed to eat it. Mishum, Chasidim love this. Mishum v'altida shtaris imecha. There's a concept of minhag aviseinu b'yodeinu, altida shtaris imecha. You come from Bavel, what? You come from Bavel. You're right now you're in Eretz Yisrael, but that's the minhag over there. There's a machlokes between Rabbami and Ravasi. Don't get involved. You're not allowed to eat it. We're all going to eat it here at the table, and you have to watch.
Oh, you may not.
Altida shtaris bound l'chumra, but not l'kula. Not l'kula. Not to say, okay, you're allowed to eat these baits. All right. Omar Rashi, hanabei the gadya. Any eggs from an animal, about a goat, a kid, atlos in yoim and sharia. You're allowed to eat it, beloy klipa. You're allowed to eat it without removing the krum, because we said that there's 5 membranes, and one of them was the membrane of the beitzim. Up until 30 days, you're allowed to eat it without removing the membrane. Ishkoch. Mikam ve'elech I azron asurin v'loy azron sharin. So in other words, 30 days you have for free without removing. You could even go more than 30 days as long as the zera didn't go into the beitzim. How do you know if it went in or not? You see if there's any red streaks. Red streaks is an indication of zera. Then you're not allowed to eat them anymore. Then you have to remove the membrane if you want to eat it. It's interesting. So I have to ask this French guy if he removes the membrane. I'm sure he knows. You got to remove the membrane if you want to eat the stuff. There are 3.
Shut up. Take the man.
It's your fault. Okay. You have a piece of meat that's red. Why is it red? Because you have a ruptured blood vessel in there. You have a beitza that's red. This is not good. Umizrike, and you have the blood vessels on the neck of the animal that are ruptured. So what do? Now the Gemara goes into a little introduction before we say what the halach is. In all of Shas, Ravina lekula v'Ravacha lechum. You should just know Ravina is always the one that's lenient. Ravacha, he's the one that's machmer. V'hilchas like Ravina lekula. And we always passing like Ravina lenient. Lebar mahana these 3. Why? The Ravacha lekula v'Ravina lechumra. We're always going to go lenient between the 2 of them. In all of Shas, we go lenient. But it happens to be that in these 3 things, Ravach is the one that's lenient, so we're passing like him. What's going on here? Red piece of meat became redder than usual. All you do is, like we said, if you have a problem with the thing is, cut it open, salt it. You can throw it in your pot. You roasted it, you put it on some skewer, on a spittle, what is it called? The spit thing. And then that is actually the best way to get rid of blood. It drips out, it's open and it drips and you get all the blood out. Doiv dama. Agumre, but here's the machlokes. What if you put it on top of coals? It's not hanging, it's on top of coals. So the question is, what does the heat do to the blood? One says that it draws it out, it pushes the blood out, and one says it'll like keep it in. Like if you barbecue, right? You take a steak, you put it on a grill. What happens? It seals the meat. Like you sear it for a minute, and all the juice stays in. Then you flip it over, right? So what is it? The heat is Maybe that's what's going on here. Like the coals are keeping the blood inside. It's not good.
We're talking here
That's why
about
you
if
have
they
to cut it
didn't
off.
cut.
What?
You did not cut it, put it whole, that's what closes it in. If it's cut, it does drip out.
You have to cut it open.
Yeah. Once it fine, but I don't see the picture exactly. What part of meat we're talking about there? We're talking about umtza. How do you have an uncut, like a full piece of meat that's not cut? Like it's you just remove the fat from this side. Okay, yeah, not like a steak. Okay, I hear what you're saying. V'chein beya, v'chein mizrike. The same halacha applies to the beitzim and the blood vessels on the neck. Reisha bekivsha. What they would do in those days if they want to remove the hair. Well, you said 5-2.
You have to clean up first.
Reisha bekivsha. If you have the hair, you want to remove the hair. So from the head. So what you do is you rinse it in water, and then you put it in hot ashes. Says the Gemara, if the ashes, this is not a good. So let's say this is the base ashchita. You go this way. So obviously all the blood is going to drain out. It's great. Doyiv dama v'shari. Atzdadim, if you put it sideways, mikvah on the hot ashes. You put it on sideways. Atzdadim, if the head is sideways. This is the neck. This is the open neck, and it's laying like this on the coals. Mikvah kafi v'aser. The blood is not going to drain out. It has nowhere to drain out to. If you open up its nostrils with some piece of wood, and today they have, the American football players, not the English guys, they put this strip on the nostril, it opens, sports guys. They open it up, it opens up their nose, maybe that would be mutter also. What?
No, because
No, to let you breathe a lot.
breathe better.
If you have a very large nostrils and you don't want them to close, flap in the wind while you're running football, it opens it up. That's what they say.
More energy.
Anyway, so they have to breathe.
They have to breathe through their nose.
So it's great.
It helps them out a lot.
Interesting.
Yeah. I heard a lot about this. No, actually helps, they say. I don't know. Ayin Shom. My father-in-law always, going back to my father-in-law, always had charata. They didn't invent this because he's a nose surgeon. So like some guy, I cannot believe he invented. It's a reverse spring. It does the opposite of a regular spring. It goes outwards. So you put it with tape. It's like a Band-Aid. You put it with tape, and it always wants to jump off the nose, but because of the tape, it stays on the nose. So like that guy made $1 billion from the shtus that.
It helps people sleep.
What? Yeah, it's for sleep apnea and all that stuff. Yeah. The Gemara says over here that in those days they didn't have this, so they put a piece of wood inside his nostril, kept it open, and the blood could drain out from there. If you could open up the Beis Shchita with a piece of wood, great. And if you do it on the side, if you put the animal on the sideways, so if you could keep it open, you put a piece something in there, then it will be mutter. We're going back to Gidan Nasha now. There's 2 Gidin. So we're talking about the Gidan Nasha. Where's the Gidan Nasha in this picture? Right over here, going down this way. It's the inner thigh coming down on this bone, as you see over here at the top, coming down on the bone, wrapping around inside. Then there's another gid that comes on the outside of the foot. Says the Gemara, Shnei Gidin. The inner one, that's what we're talking about. It's called the Gidan Nasha, and that's what is awesome in the Raisa. This one over here is close to the meat. Also, that's not the rice. That's not what we're talking about. We just have to be makbid on it because it looks similar or whatever. So now the Gemara just goes into the description. Why are you describing a pnimi somach lebasar? You're telling me that the pnimi is somach le'etzem. In fact, sometimes we describe it as close to the meat. Okay, says the Gemara. What it means to say is that it's like a key. You see these offshoots over here, the knoiknois, what do we call the tendrils? They go inside. So because they go inside, so we call it a basar, that it's samach to basar. But really, in fact, it's samach to the etzem. It goes over the bone, but once in a while we'll mix it up with the chitzon.
Is it completely surrounded by
Hold on, let's just finish up here.
Wouldn't these slip out like we said before?
No.
like the other ones would slip
Nothing
out?
slip. Trust me, it doesn't slip out. It's the hardest thing to get out. That's why it's not kosher.
No,
If it slipped
I'm
out,
just wondering.
especially when it's cold. When it's hot, I don't know.
No, I'm talking
But
about-
how could you get to it when it's hot? It's like you have to rip it open. Now, the Gemara just goes back to the description of the outer one. The outer one we described as samach to the basar. And now all of a sudden we have a place that describes it as samach le'etzem. What is it? It's called samach le'etzem because that's where the butcher will separate the hip from the thigh, so it's called samach le'etzem. Itmar. Says the Gemara, if you have a butcher, in those days the butchers would remove the fat, the chaylev. Rabbi Yehuda Omar bekisoiro, Rabbi Yochanan Omar bekizayis. So you have machlokes, how much does he leave, and what happens to him? Omar Rav Papa, and what's interesting is, remember Rav Papa, we always say peace between two people. Over here, it's not one of the 10 places that he makes peace, but he says, V'loi pligi. This is not machlokes. And by the way, it was Rav Papa also that said 2 daf ago the same thing, Loi pligi. Seems like he liked a lot of shalom here. Kan la'al koisoi, kan la'abroi. There's no machlokes. When I say that you need a kazayis of fat, when the butcher messed up and he left a kazayis, meaning he gets malchus, he gets punished. We'll punish him for leaving it in. If he only left the size of a barley, then he doesn't get punished, but we remove him from his job. It depends, some Rishonim hold that he's just explaining that in order to be chayiv malchus, you don't need it to be in one spot, it could be in 3 different spots, and you are chayiv malchus. 2 or 3 spots. And the halacha is that if he leaves a kazayis over, then he gets malchus, and he leaves a kisaira, you get rid of him from his job. In a tabachim ne'emanim, says the Gemara, it said in the Mishnah, butchers are not believed according to Rameir, Chacham say they are believed. In later generations they said, a butcher is believed. All of a sudden they became better people, the butchers became more believable? The opposite, usually it's the opposite. As the generations go on, we become worse. Says the Gemara, in the beginning, listen to how the Gemara works now. The Gemara is saying right now that in the beginning we didn't believe them because it was actually a difficult task to remove the Gedan Asha. The Gemara is going to go away from that in the second shot. But right now we believe that it's a hard job, and since the halacha is like Rameir, we didn't believe the guy. It's just too hard to do. And later on, we paskin the halacha like Rabbi Yehuda that you don't have to remove it through and through. You just peel off the top layer. So it's an easier job. Now we could trust the butcher. And some say he goes in the seifa. Chachamim say that a butcher is believed. And later on they said they're not believed. So they're believed, not believed, believed. As the Gemara, if it goes in the second shot, it goes like this. What happened? All of a sudden, we went from not believing them to believing them. What happened? Says the Gemara, in the beginning, we held like Rabbi Yehuda, that's very easy to get rid of it. Those guys died off, and the future generations only remembered the halacha the way it is. They're not from anymore. This is halacha l'maisa, like Rameir, and therefore what? I could trust them because it's not hard. We're not like in the first shot that was too difficult. Now it's a question of just trust, not about hard, and trust the butcher. And last piece until the Mishnah, we'll start the Mishnah tomorrow. Amazing sugi tomorrow. If a whole sugi about if you have a guest on Shabbos, and I didn't know it until I learned this 8 years ago or 15 years ago, whenever it was amazing. You have a guest, sometimes you want to impress the guest and make him feel good. Say, I just got a bottle of wine for you. You got it for yourself. And you open up a box of chocolate, you say, I'm opening it for you, because you want to make him feel good. You think you're doing a mitzvah, and in fact you're doing an aveira. But let's just see the sugi over here. If you look at the Mishnah says that Chachamim say, we have to go to the Mishnah for a second, I'm sorry. It says all the way at the end of the Mishnah, I'll read it for you so you don't have to go. The Rameir says, a butcher is not believed on Gidan Asha. Come Chachamim and say, he is believed on Gidan Asha, and also on Chaylev. What's going on? Who spoke about chaylev? We're talking about Gid Anasha. The whole mission, the name of the parak is Gid Anasha. Says Gemara chaylev man dekar shmei. Whoever mentioned it. Harigo amar. Ein emanim olav ala chaylev. No. What Meir said wasn't just the butchers believed on Gid Anasha. You have to stick in another word. Meir said he's not believing Gid Anasha. And that chacham is emanim olav. He's believing.
What does that have to do with opening up?
If everybody can please help.
What?
What does that have to do with opening up?